The Wanderer by Dion reached the number 12 position on Billboard magazine's year-end chart in 1962. The tenor sax is right out front, so it's a great song for us to learn. The tenor player is Buddy Lucas, who played on Dion's Laurie record label recordings. He was a band leader and a session musician, and was most active between 1954 and 1976. I made a few exercises to supplement the song. If you're new to the key of E major, I recommend you play these exercises to get the feel of the key. I also touch on Lucas's scooping and Flutter Tongue effects. Lucas's solo is relatively simple, but at the same time really well constructed. There is a brief analysis about this at the end of the video. Let's get started. The Wanderer is in the key of concert D major. This means that the rhythm section players are thinking in the key of D. However, we'll think in the key of E because the notes on the tenor saxophone are conceived to be one tone higher than concert pitch. To be more precise though, it transposes up a ninth from concert pitch, but I'm trying to keep it simple here. Just think in the key of E major. We'll now focus on the scales and chords of E major. Having this key under your fingers makes the music easier to play. Also, the next time you encounter a song in E major, it'll be easier too. If you already know this key, you might want to skip ahead to part 2. So here is the E major scale. I've written it out so it's within the range of notes that are used in The Wanderer. I hope you'll play through these exercises to learn the finger patterns. It's part theory and part muscle memory. I've put a package together with these resources on my website that you can download at no cost. There is the transcription, supplemental exercises, and a background track that you can use to practice the solo. The download is free, but you can set your own price if you'd like to help me out. I'll give a shout out to those folks who do so in a future video. The E major pentatonic scale is handy to know when we get to Lucas's solo. The major pentatonic scale is similar to the major scale, but with only 5 notes. Here is the E major pentatonic scale with the same range as before. There are 3 triads that are prominent in Lucas's supporting saxophone part. They are the triads based on the 1, 4, and 5 chords of the song. There is the E major triad, which is the tonic chord on 1, the A major triad, which is the subdominant chord on 4, and the B major triad, which is the dominant chord on 5. Now we can go to the song. Lucas's saxophone part in The Wanderer is minimalistic. It's distinctive, yet it doesn't get in the way of Dion's vocals. In fact, his part actually complements the vocals. The sax comes in at the end of the first verse. Lucas scoops into the second note of each triad to give it a raunchy, bluesy feel. To do this, start the note with a loose jaw, then tighten it again to raise the pitch to normal. Here it is as played in the song. To set up the second verse, Lucas uses the rhythm of Dion's vocal part, around, 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 as inspiration. Where Dion's feel of this rhythm is relaxed, Lucas plays hard, dotted 8/16 notes and is in lockstep with the drums. At the end of the third verse, Lucas effectively launches his solo with the same idea, only up the octave. So here's the solo in its entirety. The very first two-bar phrase has a little idea called a motive that makes up most of the solo. Lucas finds this idea in Dion's melody. This phrase is repeated in the third and fourth bars of the solo, which is bars 40 and 41 on my chart. In bar 42, you may notice there is a G natural in the solo that sounds really cool. Lucas plays the G over an A chord, single-handedly making the harmony into a dominant seventh. On top of that, Lucas uses Flutter Tongue to make that note shine even more. It's the first time this melodic idea has shown up in the song, so Lucas repeats it in the very next phrase, only with a G natural, because the harmony goes back to E. In case you don't know, Flutter Tongue is the act of moving the tongue rapidly against the roof of the mouth. This sound is used naturally in some languages and dialects. You may have heard it being referred to as rolling the R. It sounds like this. Rrrr. Some people can't make this sound if it's not part of your language, but if you're determined and you practice, you'll likely get it. The tricky part is fluttering with the saxophone in your mouth. Again, you should practice that separately. If you can't do it right away, you can still enjoy playing the solo without the flutter effect. The last four bars returns to the motive that was introduced at the beginning of the solo. This idea is used in a descending line to calm the music so the vocals can come in with the last verse and end the song. Overall, I think this is a fun solo to play, but it's also a great example of how a saxophonist can fit into a band with a vocalist without overplaying, but constructing parts that complement the song. I have a hard time thinking of The Wanderer without Lucas's solo. I hope you now have a better idea of why the saxophone part is so good here. Thanks for watching, and remember to check out the link in the description for the PDFs and background track. Happy practicing!